Magic words. In the very earliest time when both people and animals lived on Earth, a person could become an animal if he wanted to, and an animal could become a human being. Sometimes they were people and sometimes animals, and there was no difference. All spoke the same language. That was a time when words were like magic. The human mind had mysterious powers. A word spoken by chance might even have strange consequences. It would suddenly come alive, and what people wanted to happen could happen. All you had to do was say it. Nobody could explain this. That's the way it was.
In the very earliest time, far away in a settlement by a northern lake, there lived a young woman called Tia. She loved to wander alone, collecting pieces of driftwood and caribou antlers to make dolls for children. As she walked, she sang to herself and watched the gulls flap their wings in the clear air. One day, Tia had wandered a long way from home when a heavy fog descended and she could see nothing in front of her. Feeling lost and helpless, she sat down and wept. After a few minutes, something moved in the fog. Tia was so frightened she stopped crying. The figure came closer and closer. Finally, she could see what it was, a young man. When he spoke in a kindly voice, Tia was no longer frightened.
What are you doing here?
I was collecting driftwood when the fog descended, and I could see nothing in front of me. I am lost.
Don't worry. I live close by with my two brothers. My name's Idosak. Come with me.
Tia followed Idosak to his house, a summer tent made of caribou hides. She sat in front of the fire while Idosak served her caribou meat and broth and fresh berries. After a meal, she felt warm and contented. With Idosak beside her, she gazed happily into the fire and watched the shadows it cast on the wall of the tent. When the two brothers returned, they were surprised to find a beautiful woman sitting with Idosak.
Who is she?
How did she get here?
She was lost in the fog, and I asked her to stay with us until tomorrow. Her name is Tia.
The three brothers were hunters of caribou that roamed the tundra beyond the lake. Before lying down to sleep, they performed a ceremonial dance to bring them success in the morning's hunt. First, they put on masks and coats of boots of caribou skin. Then, to make music of their dance, one of them got out their caribou skin drum and started beating on it. While the brothers danced around the fire, their shadows flickering against the wall of the tent, they chanted a magic hunting song.
Caribou, boo, put your footprints on this land I'm standing on, is meant to land to love. See, I'm holding in my hand the reindeer mouse you're dreaming of, so delicious, yum, yum, yum. Come, caribou, come. Come, caribou, come.
Unable to resist the rhythmic drum beats, Tia joined the brothers in their dance. The drumming quickened and the dancing quickened with it. Tossing their arms in the air as they leapt around the fire, the four dancers whirled faster and faster until they fell to the ground exhausted.
In the morning, before they set out for the hunt, the three brothers warned Tia not to let anyone into their tent while they were away. Left alone, Tia took up a sharp knife and carved a piece of driftwood until a beautiful doll emerged. Then she made a caribou skin dress. While she sat working, someone came to the flap of the tent.
Let me in and give me a drink of water.
I can't let you in. This tent belongs to Idosak and his brothers. They have told me not to let anyone in while they are away.
If you refuse to let me in, bad things will happen to you. I am a shaman.
A shaman! Tia knew that the shaman had supernatural powers and could do terrible things. She let the woman in, forgetting what the brothers had told her. After Tia gave her a drink of water, the old woman said,
Now I will comb your hair.
And she took out a magic ivory comb. As she drew it through the tangles in Tia's hair, she started to sing. Tia had never heard the melody before. It was so tender, so beautiful, she fell into a deep sleep and the old woman crept away. Tia slept for many hours. When she woke, she stretched her arms. She felt herself being transformed. Antlers slowly sprouted out of her head and her arms lengthened to legs. Her hands and feet became hooves. She was no longer a human.
Tia had become a white caribou. It trotted out of the tent and bounded across the tundra to join the herd.
That evening, when the brothers returned, they found that Tia had gone.
Why would you leave without telling us?
That night, Idosak had a dream about his dead grandmother, who had been a powerful shaman in her lifetime. She told him that Tia had been changed into a white caribou by an evil shaman.
Do what I tell you and you'll have her back. In the morning, take a feather, the bone and a sinew of a caribou, a stone and a doll that Tia had made. Then go out and look for the white caribou. When you find it, throw these things on its back and you'll see what happens.
The next morning, Idosak set out to find Tia. He walked for many hours until he spotted a caribou herd in the distance. Coming closer to it, he saw what he was looking for, the white caribou. He ran towards the herd shouting joyfully,
Are you my Tia Caribou?
When he reached the right animal, he drew the magic objects on its back. Instantly, the caribou changed into a woman, into Tia. Idosak invited Tia back to his tent and they lived together happily. His brothers put up a tent of their own nearby. Tia still collected pieces of driftwood and antler ears for her doll making. Whenever she saw a caribou, she thought of the time when she had been one of the most beautiful caribou in the herd. And ever since, when hunters meet a white caribou, they treat it kindly and do not kill it, for it might be enchanted.